Okay, what's up, y'all? This is Erica, and I'm down here. Listen, I'm gonna try to do Real Housewives of Orange, or not Orange County, of New Jersey. Okay. All right. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. Okay. I'm gonna try and see if how fast I can do this. Okay. So they start off. I went back to listen to what Gia told Theresa. She said, if you went about this in a shitty way, you should apologize. Um, anyways, Joe calls Margaret. They're still at Lake George. Joe calls Margaret, and Margaret is talking to him, and she's saying that she's really sad about Jackie, and that Theresa is really focused on the analogy. She really is, and it's a way to get out of her knowing that she messed up. She knows she messed up. She knows what she did. I think what Theresa did was intentional, but she's acting like it wasn't her fault. And now that Jackie used that analogy, Theresa is stuck on that, and she really is. And then even Joe was like, Theresa doesn't understand anyone's point, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's like talking, she's literally talking as if she didn't do nothing wrong, and then getting mad that she's being held accountable. It's really crazy. Melissa comes downstairs and she's like, ladies, let's continue the good vibe. We're having a good time down here. Let's do that, okay? Oh, hold on. All right, so Teresa's like, you know what? I've been thinking. I'm not calling Jackie. They're sitting around eating breakfast. And she was like, if she didn't like my apology, oh well. They rewind and show the apology. It was full of shit, right? And she says, well, maybe there are skeletons in the closet. She's weak and all this other stuff, saying all of these things about her. I'm like, girl, you are ridiculous. Like, literally ridiculous. Like, it's hard to even watch Theresa, because it's like, that type of person to me is so dangerous. Like, you could sit there, do something wrong, and then try to flip it entirely to be because the other person reacted and retaliated. And it's like, until she apologizes to me, but even your own daughter. That's when I knew. I was like, Teresa's not going to admit that she was wrong, and she's going to try to flip it, because even her own daughter said, if you went about what you did in the wrong way, you owe that lady an apology. And she's still saying she's not going to give her an apology at all. Dolores says she doesn't like sensitive people. Girl, what do you mean? So if somebody... Do you remember how Dolores reacted when they told her at the reunion that Frank wasn't practicing law anymore and he hadn't told her? Something that small made her upset. But then she goes back and says, well, to Jennifer, if somebody was saying something about Frank, I would want to know. Right. If somebody was saying something about Evan, Jackie would want to know. But just like Lexi said with her thick ass accent, yeah, you wanted Jackie to know, but you didn't tell Jackie. You went and told everybody else. And then you're trying to flip it like, I told my family. I told my family. No, you didn't tell your family. You told everybody at the party, talking loud, drinking. So no, you didn't tell just your family. Like, all of the things that she's using to give us a rationale as to why she did what she did is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And everybody's looking like, girl, what's the point? After a while, you don't want to go back and forth with the person like that, because they're not going to budge. They're not going to budge. I don't know. Theresa is a trip. So they're like, Melissa's like, let's not spend the whole trip trying to get Theresa to understand that what she did was wrong. It's like, it's pointless. Let's just have a good time. And I agree. And I really think they had a really good time. They went and had lunch on the lake. They were sitting there talking about their children. Michelle calls Theresa. Now, Michelle is the realtor who told Jennifer at the party that Joe Giudice didn't pay her husband for the work that he did on some motivational tour. I don't know how the hell Joe Gorga is doing a motivational tour, but I guess anybody can be motivating to anybody, I guess. But Theresa is selling her house, and I think it's about time. Even when they go, like, they do a pan out of her house, it looks so dark. It looks like a damn dark ass castle. It just looks really bad. Like, get rid of that house. Anyways, Melissa shares with us that Antonia has a boyfriend, and that Melania told her that he's really nice, be nice to Zach, and that he doesn't pressure her to have sex. at 15, y'all got, oh God. What is going on? You know what's going on? They got phones. That's what's going on. That's why at 15. And then that's why I was like thinking like, what is Melania talking about? So they start talking about Melania. Oh my God, I don't even want to picture my child having sex. That was funny. The conversation that they had about like, I don't even want to picture my daughter laying there enjoying sex. It was a real honest, fun, lighthearted conversation about their kids growing up. They had a good laugh. She's like, Melania is not ready for that. And then Melissa goes, I gotta be honest, I don't miss my kids right now. I said, yes, come on, I'm here for that. Now, when I say this is a girl's trip, and I was watching them, I was like, this is really a girl's trip, because you do have, you might have one person in the group where everybody's trying to get her to see the error of her ways with a friend who is not there, who didn't come because she was fucked up to that friend. So now you talking to her, like the way that Theresa got up from the table, is like, you guys are all bullying me. It's like 8-on-1 and this and that. And she went into the room, and then they all ran into the room to be like, Theresa, what's wrong? It was like a really a girls trip. It wasn't anybody sitting around the table trying to throw shade at somebody, trying to say, oh, I don't want to be here. It was none of that. I was like, they are really having a good time, and I'm here for it. Dolores shares that she says, there used to be a time when I used to be afraid of leaving because I was afraid of Frank cheating, right? Because Frank wasn't faithful to Dolores. And then Melissa kind of chimes in and says the same thing. And Jennifer was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. When Bill says he wants to go out, I'll be like, all right, Bill, I'll see you when you get back and this and that. You can't live like that. I don't see how you do that. If you don't want your husband to leave because you think he's going to be cheating on you, girl, get a divorce. It's a mess. So then they tell this story about Theresa and Joe when they went to a strip club and how they kind of had to lie to Melissa because they didn't want Melissa to know they were at the strip club. They were just having a good time sitting there eating. I was here for it. Back at the house, Melissa is fucked up. She's drunk and she's telling Margaret, let me see your titties. Because Margaret just got a breast lift. And they were like, oh my God, and they look so good. And she was like, Melissa loves breasts. She loves ass. She gets a little drunk. She gets a little flirty. Here we are. So now they want to, they said they wanted to get drunk to see Margaret's titties. That's what Theresa said. But then later, Melissa pulled her shirt down and was like, let me see your titties. It's funny. It's funny when they say titties, especially Theresa. I want to see your titties. It's funny to me. Anyway, so they prank Joe and say that Melissa was at the bar talking to the owner of the restaurant. It was funny because you could tell Joe was feeling it. He was speaking in Italian. I was like, okay. He tells Melissa later on that he was speaking in Italian because he had his kids in the car while she was on the phone playing. I thought it was a cute moment. They're really having, I'm enjoying this season so far. I thought it was weird that they would make a joke about Melissa cheating, being that Evan, this thing going on with Evan and Jackie, and then also them just having the conversation that, they were afraid to leave home because of their husband's cheating. Anyways, and when I tell you, when Theresa was on the phone with Joe, she was so good. She was really lying. Even Margaret was like, I was looking. She was like, I never thought I would use these 2 words in a sentence, but Theresa is a genius. Theresa is a genius because Theresa was sitting there. They pranked Joe, and she was doing her hair like it. She was like, yeah. She was just like, oh, I'm Melissa. They were having a good time. Anyways, they get back to the house. Teresa's like, let's keep the party going. Teresa's pouring rosé. They are having a good time. They really had a good trip. So then drunk as fuck Melissa. She was drunk, falling over the couch and stuff. Show us your titties, Margaret. Anyways, Melissa, did you hear Melissa call Theresa alcoholic? I heard that. I wonder if that's going to come up later. Because you know how Theresa is. She might be laughing, but she'll be like, oh, she called me an alcoholic later. You know how Theresa is. Anyways, Melissa calls Joe and she's like, he asked her, what's up with Jackie? And she was like, why don't you just call Evan and see if he wants to come out with you guys? And he was like, I called him. He said he was busy. And that's the part that really, I was looking at the guy sitting there playing poker and I was like, Evan is missing. It's like, he can't even be around y'all because your sister, 1, has a crush on him, and 2, wants to get back at his wife for actually holding her accountable and calling her out on her stupidity and the things that she says. Theresa is mad at Jackie. Remember when Jackie told Theresa was telling Melissa that a wife can control their husbands. She told her that. And then Jackie said, well, if that's true, why is your husband in jail? Because if you can control your husband, wouldn't he not be in jail? She didn't know what to do. That logic, she want to be able to say whatever the hell she want to say, but that logic, she's just like, oh no, now you're my enemy. Because you went against something I said, and I said that a wife can control her husband. And you're telling me if you can control your husband, why is he in jail, girl? And you don't get to talk to people, and you don't get to make the rules. That's why Theresa has a problem with Jackie. And it sucks because Evan's not there, and Evan has a good time with the guys. You saw it at his birthday party, and it's just like he don't want to be around because he's really, really upset. He's really upset. Jennifer and Dolores have a conversation and says that Joe Gorga owes Teresa's realtors, her husband, money. And she was like, this isn't the first time I heard this about Joe. And then I saw yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Joe Gorga had a fake IG post and said that he remodeled this house, and it wasn't the house, child. Anyways, Dolores said if it was being said about Frank, she would want it told to her. Girl, shut the hell up. Then back at Joe Gorga's house, they're playing poker. They were like, I just think that it's messed up that Evan is not with them. Joe pranks the men and tells them that Melissa was talking to another guy, and they're looking, they're like, that's not good, man. And he played the joke on them. They were like, what do you think the ladies are doing? They're probably arguing about Theresa and Jackie. So Frank was like, what exactly is the rumor? Because I don't know what's going on. What exactly? He cheated on her with one woman, or was it multiple women? What does she look like? He want to know all of this stuff. And then Joe, Margaret's husband, said, I heard it too. And I'm like, oh shit, what the? He was like, I heard it too. He was like, and you know, at any time in the day, there are at least 10 women in my home, and they ain't quiet. They talk really loud. So I've heard something too. So we don't know. I don't know Joe. We'll see. So they go around the table. Who believes Evan was faithful? And all of them say, yes, I do. But Margaret's husband says 99%. And then Bill says, yeah, because that 1% is always that 1%. You never know. And it's true. And it's true because, and I'm glad that the men are there and saying, like, there is a chance, like, we're not going to completely back this guy up because we're not with him all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then Frank says, well, whenever Evan has been out with us, I have never seen him being inappropriate with anyone. And then they make Frank eat the worm. They had Frank eat a whole thing, this big old piece of wasabi. His eyes were wide, his whole face was on fire. I was like, why would he eat that big piece? Him and Joe Gorga, they really just be like frat, bro. They really have this frat going on, this bromance. I love the men on this show together. Anyways, the food is here. They ordered sushi. They were like, let's just order out tonight. You know, we've been out on the lake or whatever. Let's just order in. They ordered a bunch of Japanese food and things like that. So Margaret says to Melissa, I miss Jackie. Let's call her. So they call Jackie. Jackie's on the phone saying that Evan is disgusted with everything. And then Melissa goes, girl, do you think maybe that if you apologize for what you said, the analogy that you used with Gia, do you think that you can do that? Jackie said, hell no, I'm not doing that. No. How am I the one hurt and turning around to apologize? Like, who does Theresa think she is? Like, literally. And they were looking like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. They said if she apologizes to Evan, then they're going to be good because Jackie is upset because the rumor is not about her. It's about her husband. And he works in finance. I remember Tamar saying something about how when you work in finance, you're talking about David. There's you have to model a certain way. You have to be a certain type of person. If you're dealing with people's money, you have to show that you have self-control. You have to show that you have a high character. You have to show that you're not someone who is of low character, who cheats on their wife. Like, come on. Like, I would, like, I'm not letting handle my money and you can't even control yourself. No thanks. No. So there she was like, it's not even about that. She just needs to apologize to Evan. She's like, I'm not sorry about nothing I said. I'm with Jackie. I'm not doing that. Can you imagine you reacting to a person and then them coming to you and telling you, you need to apologize to me for reacting to what I did to you? Girl, are you fucking... That's the crazy part, that they're really trying to get her to do it, or even asking or suggesting to her. She was like, absolutely not. They come back to the table. Theresa wants to know where they were. Oh, we were talking to Jackie, and she was heated, they were saying. And Evan is upset about his reputation. He's in a different type of business. Theresa's like, Jackie, she don't have no backbone. She's weak and out of control. I was like, girl, are you serious? Then she says, I've never experienced this. Now you lying. Now you lying, Theresa. And that's the problem that I have, is because, Theresa, you have been on this show since Gia was, 7? And Gia is 20 years old now. Don't you think we have footage of when Kim D told you that your husband was cheating on you? Which he was. And you flipped the fuck out. And you freaked out. Right? You flipped out. But all of a sudden, you have never been like that. I've never done nothing like that. Are you serious right now? They rolled the clip of her acting a damn fool when Kim D said Joe Giudice was cheating. And he was. And he fucking was. She was like, I'm so tired of this. I'm going to blow a casket. They were looking like, girl, a casket? You mean a gasket? That's the thing. And that's where people give Theresa a pass, because English is her second language. And so she plays that ESL card whenever she gets backed into a door. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't speak English. I'm Italian. Girl, no, we know exactly what you're doing, and you know exactly what you're doing. Even Jennifer was like, it's not sinking in. No, bitch, it's sinking in. She knows what she's doing. She just doesn't want it, because she feels that she's not wrong based on her actions of what Jennifer, or what Jackie said, those things that Jackie said to her. She feels justified in her actions. She's like, I'm not telling Jackie anything ever again. You didn't tell Jackie. You told everybody at the party, and everybody heard, girl. You didn't tell Jackie. She said she wants you to call her husband to dispel the rumor. She was like, I'm not, until she apologizes to Gia, I'm not saying that. What? Girl. Dolores is sticking up for Theresa. She always does, and it's really crazy, because later you say if it was something about Frank or, you know, your doctor boyfriend, you would want to know. But if somebody was going around saying your husband was cheating on you at his birthday party, you wouldn't be mad? You wouldn't be mad? You wouldn't react? You think that's a weak bitch? Like, y'all are a trip. Melissa tells Theresa, you were 100% wrong for doing what you did. So you know Melissa's gonna hear about that later, right? You know that. She was like, I'm leaving. You guys are all assholes. I'm being attacked. Go fuck yourself. So she runs off into the room. They go run after her. Dolores was like, what you calling me an asshole for, bitch? I'm sticking up for you. She was like, no, because, you know, it's all of you against me. You guys are ganging up on me and all this other stuff. They run after. They're like, no one is against you. So then Dolores says, you know, I'm over it. We're spending too much time on this. We're having a good time. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't come on girls' trips to do all of this shit. And, you know, and that's the vibe. Like, let's just keep this party going. Let's talk about it when we get back. Let's forget about it, right? Jackie, and then Melissa goes, Jackie needs to find a way to get over it. Y'all are a trip. Anyways, they're out on the outside having a bonfire and eating s'mores, and then Theresa goes, see, I'm having a good time. They're laughing and stuff. She was like, I don't dwell on shit. They looking like, girl, stop lying, girl. We have the footage, like 11 years of footage. We have 11 years of footage on you. Stop lying, Theresa. Stop it. Then they acted like something was in the bushes, and they ran, and that was the end of the episode. It was pretty good. I was trying to do it in under 15 minutes, but it's 19 minutes. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Theresa is a crazy freak, a crazy fool. What do y'all think? I know a lot of people like, oh, she was wrong for bringing her child in it. But if the child is coming back and saying you need to apologize, how do y'all feel about that? If somebody said, use an analogy with your child and you got upset, but your child come to you and says, Mom, what you did was wrong, and what she did was just use an analogy. You know I'm not sniffing coke. You know I'm not sniffing coke in the bathrooms at parties with little Frankie. You know I'm not doing that. Apologize to that lady. And she still doesn't apologize. If your child tells you apologize for something that was said against them, knowing she knows who her mother is. She knows her mother is unreasonable. She knows her mother acts like she can't speak English when she's backed into a wall. She knows. So your own child tells you to apologize. I think you should apologize. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Peace. Have a good weekend.